Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Hickey. I'm an Associate Director in the Financial Regulatory team of Osborne Clarke, based in the UK. And today I will be speaking about ESG regulatory requirements and what FCA authorized firms need to know. So just to briefly run through the topics that I'll be discussing today, we're going to kick off with an overview of the FCA's ESG strategy, just to give a big picture of what the FCA's particular priorities are in the ESG space. We're then going to look at an overview of the FCA's sustainability disclosure requirements and labeling regime, which is its flagship regime as applying to fund managers and the disclosures they may need to make. We'll also look at the FCA's anti-greenwashing rule and how that applies to FCA authorized firms. And we'll go through the various elements that are relevant in that context. And we'll then take a bit of a deeper dive into the particular labeling and disclosure requirements under the SDR before moving on to seeing how that interacts with the EU Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation and the ESMA Fund Naming Guidelines, before summing up with some overall observations. Okay, so looking first to the ESG strategy of the FCA. So as you can see from the slide, we have 5 key areas the FCA is focused on. And I think before we even get to those, it's important to know that ESG matters are really high on the regulatory agenda, not just in the UK, but across the globe. If the financial sector is going to help support the transition to a more sustainable future, the FCA wants to ensure that market participants and financial services firms more generally obtain that high quality information, are part of a well-functioning ecosystem, and are able to adhere to clear standards. And in turn, consumers need to be able to rely on firms to take ESG seriously, avoid greenwashing, which we will look at, and also deliver on their ESG promises. So the FCA work is based on 5 core themes to date. So the first of which you'll be able to see on the slide is transparency. So what's this? This is promoting transparency on climate change and wider sustainability along the value chain. Secondly, we have trust, building trust and integrity in ESG labeled instruments, products, and the supporting ecosystem. On tools, we're talking about working with others to enhance industry capabilities and support firms' management of climate-related and wider sustainability risks, opportunities, and impacts.